Today we're at Banjo Warehouse with Joseph Schmidt, and we're going to talk about how to properly pack and ship a banjo. So tell us what you do.
Okay, so for our first step, we want to ensure that the banjo is secured inside the case with padding to keep it from moving around, but also to provide some shock absorption just in case the case itself somehow gets damaged. So
Okay.
What we want to do is minimize any kind of movement from top to bottom and from side to side and front to back. So in the case of this case, what I'd like to do is put some bubble wrap here on the bottom,
Okay.
which keeps the head of the banjo secured in the case.
Now, incidentally, this particular case is an excellent case, and many shippers would not bother to do this. Okay.
In this case here, under here, some of the cases will have padding that fits snugly under the top edge of the banjo head to keep there from being any space between the bottom of the case and the bottom of the banjo in case it gets dropped.
Yeah, so the resonator
would crack
is
the neck
curved.
or the resonator.
So there's an airspace down here.
In cases where we have a banjo case that does not have this kind of padding, we would also take some bubble wrap, put it under here to secure that. The next step is going to be to secure the head so it doesn't, or the headstock here so it doesn't move around side to side.
Okay.
So in this case, we just take some bubble wrap, put it on either side of the neck.
Okay, now this case comes with factory installed protectors, but even with that, we're still gonna add some bubble
Yeah,
wrap.
so in cases where we don't have this, we'll take some watered up bubble wrap and put it there. So this doesn't provide it with, absolute, no movement whatsoever. We just want it to be able to absorb any kind of shock in case the box gets dropped or somehow damaged. So in this case, this banjo is not moving whatsoever. It has bubble wrap which will absorb any kind of shock, and it is secure in the case. So once I'm done with this part of the packing, I always like to pick the banjo up and just gently shake the case to see if there's any kind of movement.
We'll make sure there's
whatsoever.
absolutely no movement of the instrument within the case.
There's no movement whatsoever.
Now, as you're getting the box ready, I'll just mention that we've shipped about 2,000 instruments, and we've had 2 insurance claims. And we're very proud of how we pack. And if you're watching this video and you pack like this, you'll probably have a very good result, and the instrument will arrive safely.
And so what I'd like to show you now, this is a banjo we have received from one of our vendors, Music Link. They ship out way more banjos or instruments than we ever thought we could do. Their packing is typical of what we see whenever we receive any kind of instrument from any vendor. Basically, the instrument is just kind of thrown in here with some craft paper. You can see this case moves around a lot in here. There's really no packaging
Here, let me just get a
underneath or up top to keep it from moving around within the box.
look at that. There's all kind of. Now, even with this not particularly good packaging, there are very few claims.
Yeah, very few claims.
Even this bad.
So what we like to do to ensure that our instruments arrive at the end customer in great shape, we use a box which you can see is much larger than an industry standard box for a banjo. It's taller, deeper, and wider to provide for excessive packing material.
So you can see that there's an extra, 4 or 5, 6 inches on the top.
Yeah.
And on the side, here, just hold that, bring that other box around. You can see what the dimension is on the side. Well, you can just look at it and see how much wider our box is. Now, what this does, this lets us put in a lot more packing material, and it does cost more to do this. Obviously.
So we tend to use packing peanuts because they are very good shock absorbers. If this box gets dropped, that force is going straight up through the box. If we use paper or any other material, it's much less likely to actually not transmit that force to the case of the banjo.
And just to show you how much padding is in the box, in just a second, we'll. Well, what we're doing is Joseph is putting peanuts into the box right now. Okay. Now, just what? Okay, continue. So what we're gonna have Joseph do is actually hold the banjo next to the box, and you'll see how much extra room.
So as you can see,
look at how much padding. We're talking.
There's a lot of room.
Crazy padding there.
Put about 4 or 5 inches of packing peanuts on the
on
bottom.
either side. Yeah. So we put it in there, and we tamp it down. Okay. Now we ship maybe 1 or 2 instruments a day, so we have time to really take a lot of care. Now, if somebody's shipping 40 or 50 instruments a day, of course they're not going to take this much care with it. Okay, then we fill it, so there are peanuts everywhere. There are peanuts in front, there are peanuts in back, and then once the peanuts are in there, then Joseph will push down on them. Look at that. Okay? So we just don't put them in there and seal it up. We push down on those peanuts. Now it costs us probably an extra $15 or more than this other ship because the box is
so
custom
as you can
made.
see, this is not moving at all.
Okay.
Fill the rest of it up.
Okay.
So this has a nice snug fit all around, bottom, top, and sides. The banjo is not moving whatsoever.
Okay. And of course we just use regular tape. We don't use Superman tape, but we use a lot of it.
For the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to tape all this all the way up.
Okay.
What we didn't do.
Then, once we do all this, we get out the old fragile stickers.
The this end up stickers.
Okay. And I will emphasize that this packing is so beyond what other people do. And the reason that we do this is I used to collect guitars, and the most expensive acoustic guitar we've ever shipped out of this warehouse was $185,000. So we're packing this stuff with the same care that we would pack a $100,000 guitar.
And every side of every box we put do not drop stickers. Handle with care delicate instrument stickers on every single box. So the driver, whoever's handling this package, if they're paying attention,
go ahead and put them on.
If they're paying attention, they should know that this is not something you want to just throw around. So.
So, for our 2 claims that we've had of 2,000 over the last maybe 7 years, the 2 claims, how would it be possible when people typically pack things in not a very good way? How would it be possible? What would have had to happen for the instrument to get damaged? Where even if you dropped it off a dock 6 or 8 feet onto cement, with this type of packaging, probably the instrument would be just fine. So we're trying to never have an insurance claim, but that's it.
This is about the best we can do on our end to make sure that this instrument leaves here as secure as possible.
Well, the only way we could do more is if it was a military escort. All right, well, that's it. And hopefully this shows about our packing. And also, if you ever want to ship an instrument and you really want to make sure that it arrives, this will do it for you. So thank you. And if you have any questions, you can call Banjo Warehouse. You can look us up on the internet, or if you want to buy a banjo, just give us a call. Thank you.